what I want to make sure everyone understands is the sophistication of the people we are up against as an industry. We are not talking about a small couple who's deciding to go and create a couple of bad sites. We are talking about enterprises, places where they have employees, they show up to work every day, they spend 100% of their time trying to figure out, how do I extract value and revenue out of this advertising ecosystem? We talk about how people are moving to video or mobile and following that because they wake up and they have their morning meeting and decide, okay, well, what's the easiest way that we can start to go after this? Oh, the detection in the mobile realm isn't as good as the detection in the display. Let's try and bring up a few thousand computers or 1,000 emulators to go emulate mobile sites to try and pull that inventory in. These are, in some cases, international companies. In some cases, they are domestic. That they are sophisticated. They've got hundreds, if not thousands, of people who are spending every day working on this. How many people, by show of hands, spend 100% of their time working on trying to prevent bad traffic and fraud in online advertising? If we had a conference of those guys, we'd see everyone's hands up. That is their job. That is the entirety of what they're trying to do. It's how they make all their money. That is a very hard enemy to try and work against, someone that we need to try and work to address. And so when we think about these problems, you have to keep in mind that 100, maybe even more person entity trying to find every way to go after these vectors of attack. Now we've dug into a couple of things. I want to illustrate just a couple of these vectors of attack that we're under so you can see how this works. We've talked a lot about bad traffic and fraud here. I actually want to start a little bit on the other side, a problem that thankfully I think we've done a little better at, which is malware, but it's still out there. And the reason it ties to this is because it's actually one of the key starting points for a lot of this bad traffic. So what does malware have to do with this? Is I need to create that army, that group of computers that I can control to create bad traffic. And to do that, I need to create something that I can control. I can invest in a few thousand computers, virtual mobile devices, video players, whatever I'd like to go set up, and go set that up as a server farm, a distributed server farm, lots of ways that the industry can go and do that. Or I can go on the black market and spend a few $1,000 to get a zero-day exploit to be able to get a malware kit that I can go and infect a couple of million computers out there that I can go and control. And so with their morning meeting, they decide which one of these ways they want to go do and figure out what kind of options they may have to try and get all of this inventory, all these computers, all of this means of generating traffic under their control. Once you have that exploit, you can then create the malware packet, distribute it out there. If it's new enough, you can get it undetected before any of the detection systems can go and get rid of it. And now you've got that means to go do a couple of things. You can go in and decide, while someone is browsing, while they're using that computer, I'm going to create a new hidden window where I will decide to go someplace else. And if I can do that once, well, I can create 1,000 new windows underneath that user and have them go to a bunch of different sites and multiply the effectiveness of owning one computer to how many sites can I start to, how many browser windows can I open before the processor starts to make it noticeable what I'm doing. And so I've got a great way to scale my business. This is looking really good as an enterprise. I can get one machine. I can scale how it's going to go work. I can start to understand that. Oh, and it's really hard to detect because there is an actual human under that computer browsing one site. And we happen to have a couple other browsers browsing other ones, but there's a real person there. That person is on a real computer, on a real ISP, hard to detect. I can deploy something that's actually going to go and do surfing when they're not there. Anybody leave their computer on when they walk away? That's a great opportunity. OK, well, you walked away from your computer. I see the idle time goes down. I'll start to create a browser session, and I'll use that computer sitting on your corporate network, so your IP address is used, and be able to start creating bad traffic. Very easy to scale these things up if you've got money and funding going after this. If you wake up every morning, your business is to create bad traffic. to be able to get this.